My name is Megan Blunk. I'm a 2016 Paralympic gold medalist and a Ready, Set, Gold athlete. And today I want to talk to you about something that's really important to me. I want to talk about self-awareness, growth, and mindfulness. And gratitude. Definitely gratitude. And so I'm going to tell you a little bit about my story and how I use those in everything that I do to continue to move forward in my life and reach the high levels of my goal setting and accomplishing them. So I grew up able-bodied. I'm the middle of 4 sisters. My parents divorced when I was 4. And, we didn't have a lot of money growing up. I was an athlete. I played any sport and every sport I had the chance to play, but because of money, I didn't always have the opportunities that others that did have them saw that I could benefit from. So a lot of times my friends' parents would take me on and they would pay for me to play on, select soccer teams and select basketball teams, and these opportunities that I wouldn't have been able to do with, my growing up the way that we did without a lot of money. I didn't have a great sense of who I was, and I didn't have a lot of confidence either. I struggled a lot with that, and I didn't always understand why. But it turned out that I was struggling with mental illness almost my entire life, and I was told that it was depression. But what I've learned now, being older, is that it's something so much more than that, and that it is possible to work through it and to push through and overcome and show yourself and everyone around you what you're capable of. So I want to tell you some things that helped me to learn that in my journey. So growing up, playing all of those sports, I still held back because I was so scared of not being good enough. And yet everyone around me thought that I was, so good, and they would, I would win MVP or most improved if I just started playing, and then MVP, and like constantly getting these awards, and people telling me after the games or track races, and I'd never lost a race, like people telling you how good you are, but yet inside of my head I was never good enough. And it just made me feel worse and worse about myself the more that I heard others thinking that I was someone that I didn't feel like I was, and I didn't understand why. It just didn't connect for me. But it didn't, and it hurt. It hurt to always feel like that. And so I held back in everything I did. I held back in school because no one in my family had gone to college, and I didn't think that it was for us. Like, we didn't have money, and I was told you need a 4.0 like throughout your whole life, and I had already ruined that. So it was just constantly thinking that it's not going to get better, and that I just should just kind of try and hide away, but it's not a way to live. And I was miserable. I was crying almost every day in high school, middle school, and it just kept getting worse. And I thought that I was finding my way, but I wasn't. I was getting more and more lost as I was fighting harder and harder because things were getting harder for me. I was getting into trouble with the law. There were a lot of things. So the harder that things were at home for me, which, we had things in our family, like a lot of people do, that, I didn't understand. And something traumatic happened when I was in 4th grade, and it kind of tore our family apart even more. And we all kind of went our separate ways, just trying to make it through. And so middle school, I started crying all the time. I quit the track team in 7th grade, and I remember crying to the track coach and him telling me, I don't think you should do this. But for me, it just was too much pressure, and I didn't understand why. Like I said, I had never lost a race, but I just couldn't handle it. And then in high school, I played soccer, basketball, and fast pitch, and I was kind of like the class clown. I was slacking off. I got into like a bad group of friends because they were the ones that weren't thinking about their future, and I didn't feel like I wasn't good enough. I didn't have to compare myself or do those things that I always did. And so I was in this crowd, but I didn't really want to be. I wanted more in life. I wanted more fulfilling relationships, and I wanted to be moving forward, but I was just in this vicious cycle. I had already ruined my chances of getting a scholarship and going to like a 4-year university because I didn't think it was for me. And it was, my senior year. I was like, okay, I'm gonna start at the community college and I'm gonna start playing there, and then I'm gonna earn it. And I did the running start, so I had 2 years of college paid for while I was in high school, and that kind of showed me that I can do it. It's a little baby steps that helped me realize college is more about working hard than it is about having that 4.0 and having a family that comes from money, and so that was kind of like my start. And I thought I was getting on the right track, and I believe that I was, but then a month after high school, I was a passenger in a motorcycle accident. In that group of friends that I was always spending my time with, the ones that didn't think about consequences, and the helmet didn't fit. No one thought it was a big deal. I didn't have any tennis shoes on. Everyone said that was fine. Luckily, I found some tennis shoes instead of my flip-flops. But there were a lot of little signs that I wasn't listening to, like when the driver was passing my friend's trucks on windy corners. And I know you don't pass cars on corners, and that's a big red flag. But my friends were out their window being like, woohoo, cheering us on. And that made me be like, maybe it's fine, and it was like, never was I listening to my gut that was always telling me what was right, and I let the influence of others and the world around me affect how I felt. And so he ended up crashing the motorcycle. We slid into a cement wall barrier. It ejected me off, and I flew up and hit a street sign. The helmet that was too big came off, and I went down a 15-foot cement wall drop, and then 30 feet down the incline, and broke 18 bones and was paralyzed from the waist down. And then just like that, everything was taken away from me. The life that I knew, it was no longer mine, and I couldn't walk anymore. And that's a big wake-up call. I think the hardest part about it was not the fact that I was in a wheelchair. It's just a different way of life, but it's the fact that I was filled with a regret for everything that I had taken for granted, that I didn't even know I was taking for granted at the time. I was just trying to survive, and I was doing my best, but I didn't know that all of that could be taken away, and it was, and I was scared that I would never get the chance to make it better again, and that feeling scared me more than the thought of never walking again. Everywhere I went, people were just looking at me with so much pity and sadness, and telling me that they're so sorry that I'm in a wheelchair, and I'm too young to be in a wheelchair, and even like, you're too pretty to be in a wheelchair. Just like the weirdest things that they mean well, but if you stop and really think about what you're saying, what you're telling me is that life in a wheelchair is not a good life. Like, no one should have to live this life. And I'm 18, and this is now my life, and you're telling me it's the worst life there is to live. How is that giving any kind of strength or motivation or anything to me? All it is just constantly reminding me and telling me how the world views someone in a wheelchair. And I had to learn to hold my head up despite all of that, despite that this was in 2008, and I was watching the Olympics from the hospital bed, feeling so incredibly numb, with tears just rolling down my face, looking at everything that I could no longer do. And if the Paralympics had been on TV 2 weeks after, I would have seen everything that I could do. But social media was still new back then. That's where the awareness really picked up. But back then, I knew nothing. No one knew of anything that I could do. It was just kind of like, we're sorry that this happened to you. Like, you want to go sit and watch, like, with everything I did. And no, I didn't want to just sit and watch. And I wanted to believe that I was somebody, and that this life is not, the worst life. Like, this is my life, and I'm gonna make it good. And also, on top of that, with the mental illness that I had been struggling with, all of those twisted up like feelings about myself, it was like everything that I had already felt about myself growing up, all of those negative thoughts and patterns and ways of survival that I was forming definitely weren't going to go well with having a disability on top of that. And I knew that I had to fight harder than I ever did before to try and, push through it and believe in myself. And that's kind of what, this disability, this accident gave to me and taught me, was how to hold my head up when everyone thinks that it should be down. Like, it's hard. It's not easy. But it's definitely something that I have learned, and it has given me a better understanding about life and what's really important. And so yeah, I learned to hold my head up everywhere I went. I learned to push through even in the darkness when you don't know that there's anything out there for you to do. I spent that first year in complete dark, just going to the gym every day and telling myself that something's gonna come along, like it's gonna get better. I don't know how, but I just know it is. And then one day, it was 9 months after my accident, this kid came into the Y who had been in a car accident, and he was in a wheelchair, and he asked them if they knew anyone else in a wheelchair that he could talk to. So they gave me his number, I called him, and he had heard about some guys that get together and play wheelchair basketball like 20 minutes from where I live, which it's unreal that nobody else knew about any of these things, but they didn't. And so the next weekend we went and checked it out, and I knew right away that that was my second chance at life, and that, I found out that there were colleges that offer full ride scholarships for playing wheelchair basketball, and I also learned about the Paralympics, and both of those blew my mind. I could not believe that all of this was out there, and yet everyone was thinking that there was nothing for me and my life was over. And so I told myself that no matter what, I was going to earn a full ride scholarship, and I was going to make it to the Paralympics, and nothing was going to stop me. And then that's exactly what I did. I ended up earning a full ride scholarship to the University of Illinois, became the first in my family to ever go to college and graduate, and then I made it to the Paralympics in 2016 and won gold. I now get to coach and mentor and be someone for these kids and other people with disabilities to look up to, and know that, there's more to life and that you can make it better. And I think that the biggest thing for me was learning that by helping myself, I'm helping others, and by helping others, I'm helping myself. And that was where I really learned to get my strength from, knowing that by fighting through it, pushing through it, being open and honest, is going to give me strength and also give strength to others. And I think that's one of the most important things to do in life, is to kind of like be there, and all of us, just continue to grow and move forward. And yeah, those were all like my biggest lessons. And I think growth and self-awareness and support, like reaching out for help even when it's extremely hard or you feel really vulnerable and scared, and even when you do get shut down, like maybe you reached out to the wrong person. Maybe you just have to remember that person might have hurt you, but not everyone is going to, and you have to keep trying. Everything in life is about trying and not giving up. And I think that the more we reach out, the more honest we are about what we're feeling inside and what we're going through, the more help that we can receive, and then the more help we can give to others. So I challenge you to really look within and think about what it is that you need to work on for yourself in order to move forward in your life. Think about what you want, and you use your strengths that you have. Push yourself. What's hard, face it. And everything you do in life, no matter what it is, it doesn't have to be making it to the Olympics or the Paralympics, or it can be anything. It can be, going to school to be a nurse. It can be, all of these things are goals that are important and, gold medal worthy. Like, all of these are important in life, and don't ever let society's, norms or pressure tell you who you are or what you need to be. Listen to yourself and push through to find out for you who you are. So with all of the Zooming and everything that we've been doing, it's important to stay active, and you really have to try and, force yourself to do this sometimes. But if you can get into a routine, that will really help, and if you can make it fun and also personalized for you, then you're gonna be more likely to do it and enjoy it and get more out of it. So one thing to focus on is really engaging your core and trying to have your shoulders back, and just have that good posture, because a big thing these days is leaning over and being on your computer or your iPad. And so we're gonna start with arm jacks first. Okay, so I'm gonna do 20 seconds of arm jacks with good posture and really rolling my shoulders back so that, I'm really getting that rotation, and it's waking up all of this tight tissue and stretching it out. Okay, and then we're gonna do seal jacks. 20 seconds of seal jacks, which is your arms together, straight back. Keep the good posture and engage your core. Okay, now we're gonna do neck circles clockwise for 20 seconds. So clockwise is this way. Okay, 20 seconds of neck circles. And that's Max, my dog. Man bun Max. Okay, now we're gonna do neck circles counterclockwise for 20 seconds. So Max, hey! He won't come to me. It's kind of hard to do neck circles. I feel like I'm really tight. Like I can't do a real circle. Okay, we're gonna do chest huggers with Max, my puppy. Okay, so 20 seconds of chest hugs. So really pull back, get a full stretch. Okay, and now arm air angels for 20 seconds. So, yeah. Not the jacks, the arm angels. Sweet. Now we're gonna go into the workout, and for this we're gonna need 2 water bottles. So now we're gonna get into the workout with our 2 water bottles. So we're gonna do 10 bicep curl to shoulder press to start out, and then we're gonna do, you know what, we'll just start it. Okay, so bicep curl to shoulder press. So that's 1, 2, max. 3. And make sure that you're having good form. So before you start that next movement in it, you know, right here, turn, up, down, turn, down. So I think that's 8, 9, 10. Okay, and now we're gonna do 10 bent over row to shoulder external rotations. So we're bending forward, and then we're gonna do row, and then back. So 1, 2, and try and when you go back, try and really engage your shoulder muscles, the shoulder blades in the back. So 3, 4, 5, 6, max, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then 10 overhead tricep extensions. So we're gonna do it with both of our water bottles. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And now we're gonna do 10 crunches. So I'm gonna get down. Also, I have my quad muscles. I got my quad muscles back about a month after my accident when the swelling went down. And so that's why you see me moving my legs, but it's just quads. Okay, now we're gonna do 10 crunches on the ground. Is it okay that the cord is out? This is real, right? All right, 10 crunches. 1, 2, he loves my hair. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And when you're doing it, try and really engage, like squeeze tight. So now we're gonna do 10 side to side toe touches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And that's all. Now it's time for round 2. So we're gonna go through that again, and then we're gonna go through it one more time after that. And then we're gonna do a cool down. So bicep curl to shoulder press. So that's 1, 2, max. 3. And make sure that you're having good form. So before you start that next movement in it, you know, right here, turn, up, down, turn, down. So I think that's 8. 9, 10. Okay, and now we're gonna do 10 bent over row to shoulder external rotations. So we're bending forward, and then we're gonna do row, and then back. So 1, 2, and try and when you go back, try and really engage your shoulder muscles, the shoulder blades in the back. So 3, 4, 5, 6, max, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then 10 overhead tricep extensions. So we're gonna do it with both of our water bottles. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And now we're gonna do 10 crunches. So I'm gonna get down. Also, I have my quad muscles. I got my quad muscles back about a month after my accident when the swelling went down. And so that's why you see me moving my legs, but it's just quads. Okay, now we're gonna do 10 crunches on the ground. Is it okay that the cord is out? This is real, right?
Real.
All right, 10 crunches. 1, 2, he loves my hair. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And when you're doing it, try and really engage, like squeeze tight. So now we're gonna do 10 side to side toe touches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, now we're gonna do the last round. Keep going, I believe in you, and push yourself. So if there's anything that you think you could add or try and engage more, then really focus on that. So bicep curl to shoulder press. So that's 1, 2, max. 3. And make sure that you're having good form. So before you start that next movement in it, right here, turn, up, down, turn, down. So I think that's 8. 9, 10. Okay, and now we're gonna do 10 bent over row to shoulder external rotation. So we're bending forward, and then we're gonna do row, and then back. So 1, 2, and when you go back, try and really engage your shoulder muscles, the shoulder blades in the back. So 3, 4, 5, 6, max, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then 10 overhead tricep extensions. So we're gonna do it with both of our water bottles. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And now we're gonna do 10 crunches. So I'm gonna get down. Also, I have my quad muscles. I got my quad muscles back about a month after my accident when the swelling went down. And so that's why you see me moving my legs, but it's just quads. Okay, now we're gonna do 10 crunches on the ground. Is it okay that the cord is out? This is real, right?
Real.
All right, 10 crunches. 1, 2, he loves my hair. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And when you're doing it, try and really engage, like squeeze tight. So now we're gonna do 10 side to side toe touches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. So now we are going to do a cool down. very important part of the whole process. So we're gonna focus on that next. Okay, we're gonna start out with warming up our muscles a little bit more again, just so we get a better stretch. So we're gonna do 20 seconds of air punches. So just one. Give it all you got. You can do it with the water bottle or without, but I like it with the water bottle. Okay, 5 seconds. You can really make yourself feel a burn on that. Okay, now we're gonna do 20 seconds of uppercut. So hopefully these look good. Can flex a little. 5 seconds. You found that marker? Okay. Now we're gonna do 20 seconds with your arm across. Okay. Here. Nice catch. Okay, 20 seconds with your arm across. Okay. So, get a real good stretch there. Don't cheat yourself. 5 seconds. Okay, now we're gonna switch it to the other arm. 20 seconds. Five seconds. Okay, now we're gonna do your arm above your head and pull down. Get a good stretch for 20. I don't really have anything to say. But you got it. Keep stretching. 2, 1. Okay, other arm. If you got anything you want me to say, just tell me and I'll say it. "20 seconds open arm stretch." This one's my favorite stretch. I don't know, it just gets me every time. So really swing your arms back and just wherever you feel like you need it, try and hit that. I could do this forever. I usually do. Especially before or after a basketball game. Nice. All right, well, that was the workout and that was the cool down. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it and you got something out of it. Come up with your own that would, work best for you. You don't have to do what everyone else is doing. You can make it unique. So I encourage you to do that and get out there and push yourself. This is a time to really look within and to grow and move forward. Thank you, the Foundation for Global Sports Development and Sidewinder Films, for supporting Ready, Set, Gold.
Ready, Set, Gold 2021 Spring Series is powered by the Foundation for Global Sports Development and Sidewinder Films.